Welcome everyone, Costin here with a video guide for playing the High Elves, specifically Tyrion, who is one of the strongest legendary lords of the High Elves and certainly one with one of the best starting positions in the entire game. He's powerful, he's strong, he's got a really good province here in Lorem, though he has to spend a few turns in the early game reconquering it. Though the Dark Elves he starts at war with, the Cult of Excess, isn't going to be that strong. Now, when you start your campaign, for any campaign, the first thing you want to do is look at your diplomatic options as you're beginning your campaign and see what options are available. For me here, I can get good relations with Alariel, get the trade agreement with her. Soon enough I'll be able to get military access and a defensive alliance. For Illyrian, gonna get a non-aggression pact trade agreement and also gonna get a bit of money. I'll worry about military access with them later on. Sometimes it's not the best option to go for every single diplomatic option available, so I could have gotten military access, but I think I'll wait so that I can get more money from Illyrian. Now, interestingly enough, or ridiculously enough, Illyrian does start a war with Tyrion, so Tyrion is potentially a target for you to deal with. But let's look at the starting situation. You have the Cult of Excess controlling most of Attain. You also have Count Noctilus over here to the west at war with Calador, who you can wipe out, take over their territory, maybe get the non-aggression pact with Noctilus, so he's gonna stay out of your way. Though, to be fair, you are considerably stronger than Noctilus because his units have low armor, and your High Elven archers can absolutely tear him to shreds. Though, he does have the Gallant Graveyard, which can be quite an issue to take early on, so avoiding a war with Noctilus, at least for the first few turns, might be indicated. On top of that, you also have the Orcs to the east. Elfarion is at war with them. You might benefit from taking some of their territory and giving it to Elfarion to get good diplomatic relations, or just taking it for yourself in southern Yvresse. Then, of course, you have Safri, with whom you don't have good diplomatic relations from the start, and they've got a bit of a Slaaneshi corruption issue. And then further to the north, you do have Alariel at war with the Scourge of Cain. By the way, if you are playing as Tyrion, you're probably going to want to rush for the Phoenix Gate in order to take it so you can get one of your quest items. Specifically, the Heart of Avalarn, which you need in order, I believe it's the Heart at the very least, in order to get its ability and complete the item set. It's a really good item, you want to pick it up, and one of the issues that Tyrion may face right now, hopefully it will be fixed in a patch that's coming out in 2 days from now. One of the issues Tyrion may face is he could lose out on the heart in the campaign because Alariel might burn down the Phoenix Gate. But anyway, with all of this in mind, you do start with a level 1 barracks. You could get a noble, that might be recommended. Although bear in mind that the nobles you could recruit from early on are not necessarily going to be that great, because you're not going to have the influence to recruit any of them that don't have any negative stats. So just bear that in mind. That is one of the issues you are going to encounter. I am also going to recruit an Archmage over here. Hopefully I could get one that's decent with high magic, but nope, not in this case. It's going to be random. Not with Lore of Metal. Let's see Shadows. Yeah, let's get Peaky. That should do just fine. Okay, she's not going to be in range, and then we have to fight this battle. Now, the army I have here is vastly superior to this one. The one concern, however, are those Dark Riders, but you do have Spearmen, you do have larger Sea Guards. I'm just going to show you a couple of battles, but not many of them. I'm going to skip through most of the battles. For sieges, I've already covered what tactics you should use in sieges. Check out my video talking about why they're broken. It's fairly easy. Just camp your army in like a safe spot, and you can use your archers, your range units, to just snipe enemy units, do a significant amount of damage, even if you are vastly outnumbered. And even if you don't win in that encounter, you can easily win you can easily keep the siege, fight it to a draw, come back, win later. Or even that turn, if you even that turn, if you still have movement points available for your lord, you can just besiege a settlement, be a minor settlement or a major settlement, then come back, do some damage in one battle, come back, auto-resolve it or win it that exact turn, if your hero still has movement points. So over here, Silver Helm, Spearman, Mage. Let's get Tyrion in. Now, one of the things I will want to do is take down those Dark Shards. The Dark Riders are pouncing ahead. That's going to suit me just fine. Silver Helm's going in to do some damage. No problem. Let's buff up Tyrion and get them to deal with the Silver Helms. Pulling out that Phoenix over there. But sending it to deal with the Dark Shards. Just gonna be keeping an eye on those Dark Riders. They can be a bit of an issue, but I do want to keep them occupied over there. Keep the Dark Shards occupied, because if I keep them occupied, they're not going to be able to shoot at all on my guys, which obviously will benefit me a great deal. The priority, as far as I see it, is you really don't want your Lodern Seaguard to take any damage. Tyrion can take damage, your Mage can take damage, that's not really important. The Phoenix can take damage, the Silver Helms can take damage, but just try and keep your Lodern Seaguard from taking damage, because you're gonna want them for sieges. You're gonna want them to be as undamaged as possible. In particular, the goal here is to, one of the goals you're gonna have is to try and keep your ranged units intact, so that you have them for the battle to come against Safari. That is one of the principal goals that I do have over here. Gonna buff Tyrion up again. Give him that. Keep up the fight over there. Now over here, I'm just gonna move the Mage to deal with. Just gonna move the Mage to deal with the Dread Spears over there, while hitting them in the back with the Lodern Seaguard. The Dark Riders are out. The Dread Spears should soon be out as well. Tyrion taking a bit of damage from the enemy hero, but nothing too substantial. Phoenix wiping out the Dark Shards. Let's send the Phoenix over there. Now, Lodern Seaguard are pretty good hybrid units, but generally speaking, in the game, you do want to get dedicated units. However, they can be a good front line for your archers, but you do want to get archers. One of the issues, by the way, that Tyrion is going to have in his campaign is that he doesn't have any siege, and actually getting siege can be a bit of an issue. So anyway, this battle is won. Let me try and finish off that Lord. Send the Phoenix, try and kill him. It doesn't matter, because this army is going to be wiped out from the field of battle. And there we go. Decisive victory. Great solid victory from the very start here. Now, post-battle loot option, I will choose to go with the income. Replenishment would be nice, but I do need the money right now, and I also need the influence. I need a lot of money right now, and I need a lot of influence to really get going. Skill-wise, I'm gonna get a Route Marcher just to get that extra movement point. Attack the Tower of Lyceum. And yeah, I'm going to fight this manually. Not a lot of units, not a lot of things to be concerned about. And once I take that, since I have the barracks in the province, I'm going to recruit 2 archers for Tyrion. But I'm also going to recruit 3 archers over here with my hero that I've picked up in Lothern. And here's a point. Once Tyrion wins and I end the turn, he is not going to be able to move once I win the battle here at the Tower of Lyceum. And next turn, he is only going to be able to move to about here. So by recruiting these archers, by the time he's able to move forward, I'll be able to move this entire army with the archers forward. So now I've taken the settlement, but I didn't quite have enough money to get 2 extra archers. I could have sacked it, but instead I decided to cancel the plaza over here. I'm still getting the elven craftsmen. I'll start building the plaza next turn. It's not really an issue. For Tyrion, I'm gonna get inspiring presence, and research-wise, military advancements, then archery prowess, spear roll, into militia training. That's what you want to get most of the time. Everything else is just not really all that worth it from the beginning of your campaign. Getting those extra ranks for spearmen and archer units is going to be pretty useful for you. So I've got 3 archers training here, 2 archers training on Tyrion. Also a skill point for the mage. You want to get the Thunderbolt. Wind Blast can also be pretty useful in some situations, but the Thunderbolt is really your best choice. And that's the first turn. Let's go end it. Now there are always going to be some things that are going to happen here. Kalador's army or navy after Coast is going to be wiped out by Noctilus almost certainly. Whether or not Noctilus actually lands on Kalador shores is a different discussion. He certainly has the army to be able to wipe out all of Kalador fairly quickly over there. Okay. And now with that sorted out, I'm going to move Tyrion. Here would be like at the very edge. And get 2 more archers. I want a lot of archers over here available. Gonna get the plaza. Public order is obviously going to be an issue, and then I look at the diplomatic choices. Could get the deal with Heronach, could get, and I am going to get a defensive alliance with Alariel over there. Worth picking that up. She hasn't really done anything here. I think she wiped out the initial enemy army. Yeah, she did, because she's level 2. Noctilus has wiped out the army there. And that would be turn 2, continuing the research. Did get that Elven Craftsman building from taking the Tower of Lyceum. And there is an entire army over here. They're recruiting more troops. And that's something I'm going to have to tackle playing as Tyrion over here. The Shrine of Assyrian does have a fairly sizable garrison in it, 11 units. So they might end up being something of an issue for you to tackle. And that settlement certainly may end up being a bit of a problem, but what's going to happen almost certainly is that the army there is going to move over here to the port, making it easier for you to actually deal with them, because they're going to be substantially less strong over here with a garrison of 6 men, as opposed to here where they have the watchtower building, right? This gives them more defensive supplies, but it doesn't give them a wall. I think it's at tier 3 that they get the wall. Let me just check the building browser for the Tower of Lyceum. Yes, so it's at tier 3 that they would get walls. For now, all they really have over there are just a bunch of extra units, making it more difficult to take the settlement, but that's why I've recruited all of these archers.
Sunfang hungers.
Now the game says valiant defeat. I call bullshit on that. The reason I'm gonna call bullshit on that is look at the situation. I've got a ton of archers, 4 archers, 2 Lordern Sea Guard, and I'm bringing in 3 more archers. Just gonna move them in Tyrion so they get benefit from his force. And yeah, right now it would be a Pyrrhic victory, but this is something you're just gonna want to do manually. Now I'm just gonna do this manually just to show, and I'm gonna show it like I will fight every battle manually, even if I'm not gonna show it, but I'm just gonna do it. They do have a couple of dark shards, but I have a lot more range power. Okay, so here is the battlefield. The best entrance I can deploy on is this one. Always know which entrance is the best. Like if I deploy here, the ramp here would cause issues for my archers to shoot. There is going to be a tower located here, and another one located there. You can see if you hover over that where they're gonna be. Get all the archers deployed, get Tyrion. One of the things you want to do, Tyrion is a very, very durable hero. So one of the things you want to do is to deploy him at the front so he can soak the damage. He's pretty good at soaking a lot of damage, and just get him stuck into the enemy lines over there. That way, they'll focus on him rather than on your precious archer units. Now, if Creative Assembly introduces a change over the next few days, where this would be, say, a field battle as opposed to a minor settlement battle, then it's not really a concern, honestly. Like, I'd actually prefer it. Both would be, like, it would be more difficult. You'd probably take more casualties than I'm gonna take here, but not really too substantial ones. You are meant to win this battle. Now, all you do here is what I'm just doing over here. You move your archers forward, and you do a lot of range damage to the enemy units in the settlement, while taking very, very little in return. Now, the AI is not completely dumb, and will try and pull back its units. However, it's also coded, from what I've seen, the AI is also coded to try and prevent you from gaining a foothold inside of the settlement. Okay, so they are going to rush to counter you, and they're going to rush to do so very quickly. It's a bit of a... this is what makes siege battles so annoying, honestly. Okay, not quite there. Okay, that did it. Just moving these guys forward, even more forward. Just doing a bit of damage over there. You can see enemy units moving in. Dark shards. And one of the things you want to do, don't fall for the tricks that AI is using here. Don't chase them down. Because if you do chase them down, you're going to end up taking significant damage. Just let them come to you. Let them take the damage. Use your archers to destroy the enemy towers. And it will eventually pay off. This might actually be one of the situations where you might benefit quite a bit from giving yourself more time in the battle, so you can take it even more slowly. However, of course, alright, the harpies have descended, but it's not really too big of an issue. Okay, we can see dark riders with crossbows moving in.
Orders received.
But let's just take them out, because they don't really stand much of a chance over there against me. And we can see those dark shards over there. Now, one of the things to be said here is that flying units are really effective in these kind of settlement battles, unless you're dealing with mass ranged, which I am not. Yeah, flying units can be really effective, especially something like a Phoenix. Shift 1 is the key to bombard the enemy, so you can just keep the movement and just bombard them with it. And as I'm landing there, okay, just pull them back. Pull them back, pull back, pull back. Don't want to get them too close. It might be a good idea for me to enable guard mode over here. Alright, they're getting wiped out. They're getting chopped to pieces.
Understood, as you say. Loyal for order.
Gonna get the Phoenix there. Alright, another tower pulled out. Take it out. Take it out with extreme prejudice.
Onwards to victory. Asa, move.
Those harpies are coming in.
My power is yours.
Gonna intercept them with Tyrion over on that side as they are approaching me.
Archers! Move!
And reposition my units over here. Bit of a mess.
Setting forth!
True.
Mage.
As you say, for the Ever Queen!
Number of enemy units coming in there. You don't want them to reach your archer line. You want them to be intercepted. It's really effective if you send single entities like Tyrion or your mage hero or your phoenix. It's really effective at. They're really effective at taking a lot of damage, intercepting the units, but also crucially allowing your archer units to keep shooting at the enemy over there. Now be careful with your phoenix, you don't want to lose it, you don't want to lose Tyrion for obvious reasons, but yeah, just gotta be careful here. Not too big of an issue. Those dark shards are proving to be a bit of a nuisance. And what do you do if you run out of ammunition? Well, hopefully you don't. As you can see, most of the enemy army has been wiped here. But you do still have your infantry, you still have your spearmen. And you shouldn't be too concerned about losing them. They're not that important units. Don't keep your spearmen in the back like some precious holy reserve. Use them if absolutely needed. Like in this case, I might actually have to use them. Because seeing as there's quite a lot of enemy units, I might not have the ammunition required to take out all of the enemy units before they break. So I'm just gonna send my second lord, send the spearmen in. They're gonna take damage obviously from the melee here, but they are going to be able to get the job done. Right, Tyrion is in. Get these archers, which still have ammunition to deal with the Dark Riders. Get this mage to use some of her magic. Not sure why those archers moved in. Well, they were even in guard mode. Pathfinding. Wonderful. Alright, that's the garrison leader. Take that tower out. Tyrion is doing a great job over there. Alright, the enemy hero is moving in. Get the Phoenix out of there. There's some more units there. The Phoenix probably is the best unit for the job. Use the mage's power to take them out as well. Do a spell on them if she can. Right, there we go. And there is the battle. Relatively few casualties, all things considered, and a decisive victory. Alright, so over here I gained 2,000 money. I am just going to occupy it. I could sack it. Maybe it would be worth sacking. That would be a significant amount of coin. Actually, I am going to sack it. Hopefully, yes, Tyrion will have the movement points to then reoccupy it. One of the things that would be great to know sometimes is, like, do I have the movement points, like, after a battle? Like, do I still have the movement points to take over settlement? For her, I'm not really going to use her for her army ability right now. I also get 2 invocations here. Replenishment might be useful in my situation, given I've taken a decent amount of damage, but it might also be useful to get influence per turn. I think I'm going to choose to go with replenishment. Going to be a bit important right here. Skill-wise, for Tyrion, going to get full-on Bowmaster, and after that I'm not going to spend any skill points anymore. Going to get Wind Blast as well, so Thunderbolt and Wind Blast to spells. Now, with Tyrion, once you've gotten all these skills, Bowmaster, Inspiring Presence, Root Marcher, don't spend any skills because you want to save some points until level 12. or rather you want to save until level 10 so you can do a dedication to a god, and then after that just save everything until you're level 12 and you can get this entire skill line. It's not worth bothering with the bloodline of an Aryan. You just end up losing a lot of control in your provinces, and while yes you do gain a great deal of combat ability, the thing is Tyrion doesn't really need that because he's already one of the strongest legendary lords. Even without that, his combat ability is incredibly strong, and getting all of this, yes, it would make him even stronger, but you don't strictly need to worry about that. If you want to access it later on, you can use something like resets or one button respec if you so desire, but early on it's significantly better to get Unifier, Sense of Urgency, and Righteous Cause. Much better off to do that. Gonna get an Elven Artisan building, and maybe also get no. Right now I just don't have the money. I'm not gonna rebuild the port. That would be a significant amount of money. I would waste more than I've actually gained, but I am going to rebuild the main structure over there. More options do become available, like a trade agreement with Elfarian at this point. Kafik, and of course Crix, but it's not worth going that. Trade-wise, it depends on the trading goods that you have. So for instance, it depends on the trading goods, but there are some factions which you don't want to necessarily bother. You could get a bit of extra income from Crix, but let me just show you what's going on here. Nakari is laying siege to Crix, and Nakari is going to win that particular fight 100% of the time. It might be slower sometimes than others, but Nakari is always going to be able to take down Crix, so making agreements with them is not particularly valuable, because you will lose them as the trading partner. It's better to get an agreement with Elfarian than it is one with Crix. Anyway, going to end the turn over here, and going to go for the Shrine of Asuryan. Though an important point is I'm not necessarily going to want to take the Shrine with Tyrion. Rather, I'll want to take the Shrine with the Mage. I will attack Tyrion and sack it, but I'm not going to take it with him, because I want him to have the movement points to move back to the port so he can take Elistor next turn. Okay, so we're on turn 4. Alariel is already starting construction of a port. Now, what's the public order? Before I decide to sack a settlement, I do need to concern myself about the situation with the public order. It's pretty okay, but let's just also get that. It is going to take 4 more turns until I can get the right for construction cost. Gonna be pretty okay, but let's take Tyrion.
Ridiculous.
That would be a close victory. Now, whenever you take a settlement, one of the things to know is that the level of the settlement will drop by 1. So this would drop by 1 every single time, regardless of what I choose to do. That's why it's worth sacking, because you need some extra money early on. That extra money can be incredibly beneficial. Okay, so over here, this is something I am going to have to fight again manually. Yes, I like doing these battles as much as quite a lot of you may, but I'll just do that and then continue. Okay, with the battle 1 over here, I am going to sack the settlement. Even if I didn't want to sack it, because I don't need the money necessarily, it's still the better option. And the reason why it's the better option is because you want Tyrion to be closer to the port of Elistor over here. Actually, I could just take it this particular turn. That might be the better plan, or I could wait another turn. There are various ways of viewing it. One of the things to be said, though, is being aggressive early on in a campaign generally will pay off. Being very, very aggressive. Now, because here's the thing about Saffron. One of the things that I've noticed in every campaign I've played, their main army is always going to be here, right? is always going to be here in Torfino for whatever reason. I guess it might even start over there. So if I take Tyrion right now and attack them over there, they're not going to be able to move this army quickly enough to contest that. On the flip side, of course, with all that, if I do decide to pursue that course of action, well, I will certainly take Portellistor and prevent them from training units, which may be a significant benefit in its own right, since I do intend to go to war against them. I will not be able to recruit units this turn with Tyrion, though I will be able to recruit units with her. And the best thing I could do here is get 2 ranger units and 3 archer units. I am going to pick up the pendulum for her, get those units being recruited. And yes, I think I am actually going to pursue the attack. You could be a bit more careful, depends on how many casualties you've taken. Here I feel that the casualties I've taken are not so significant. As to Fredemy and the garrison, there is not too significant at the moment, so let's just declare the war and go for it. It is an aggressive plan, but as you can see, it will work. They only have 3 archers, well, 5 archers if you're counting the Lodran Sea Guard and the 2 Lodran Sea Guard units. So keep in mind, Lodran Sea Guard are not as effective archer units as proper archer units. So anyway, fight this battle, win, end the turn. Alright, so I won, though I did take a few casualties over there, though still only 162. One of the things I'm going to do here is loot and occupy it. Sacking it in general is the better option, but I don't have enough movement points left with Tyrion to really be able to sack it. I'm just going to get 2 regular archer units over there, and I'm not going to spend any skill points. He is level 8. Now, over here, you could set up an ambush to draw Safari out. I'm also going to get 2 more archer units over here for that army, and that is going to spend... Oh, or I could wait, because I am going to get a decent amount of income, and I could just start getting the Tower of Lyceum to level 2. That might be the better choice. Now there is a damage building here. Not gonna repair it, not gonna be concerned. Looting in general, and yeah, I can get trade agreement to Crix. Might be worth it for a couple turns, though. Don't prioritize it, they're the least important trading partner. Don't get one with Terranok, you don't want to piss Elarion, you're gonna be much better off. Forget the toggle fog of war.
Servant of the king.
So anyway, what's gonna happen next turn is, as I end this particular turn, just gonna click that end turn button, is that the army there from Torfino is always going to move into the White Tower of Hoeth. That means you're gonna have to lay siege to it. The worst thing, by the way, that can happen in this kind of context is for Alariel to declare war on Safri. Make sure, try and prevent that from happening. Maybe delay the defensive alliance if you want to do that, or really just move fast. Don't get the military alliance. Now, this might actually be the best thing that happens here, because, let me explain, because we now have an army outside of the settlement. Now there are pros and cons to this entire situation. Ignore that. That's the dragon armor of an Aryan, right? They've been wiped out. Now, the garrison here is pretty strong. There's 13 units as well. So I have a choice here. What do I do? Do I go for the open field battle? Or do I go for the siege battle? Well, it depends on the situation. I could even potentially defeat this army. Maybe that would actually be the best thing. I could actually potentially defeat this army before the reinforcements come in. It would be a Pyrrhic victory, by the way, over here. But it might be best. Sometimes there are situations, and this is one of them, where actually auto-resolving a battle, and I kid you not, is the best option. Yes, I will lose 2 units of spearmen. Do I care? No.
Ready to fight.
Why would I auto-resolve this kind of situation? For one simple reason. One of the few benefits of an auto-resolve is that all the forces that you're opposing actually do get wiped out completely. So here, the army in the White Tower of Hoeth, the garrison army, has been wiped out, which makes it very useful for me.
They are free to go.
Because now, with all the movement points, I can just occupy it. I'm just going to regularly occupy it. I'm not going to sack it.
Ready to serve.
I'm not going to do that. Anyhow. Actually, since he's got rank 11, first off, I am going to look at the skill line and choose what I want to get. Like, I could get Vanguard deployment for him and post-battle loot. That could be really sweet. Or casualty replenishment and upkeep for spearmen and archers, upkeep for dragon units, upkeep for Lauder and Seaguard, and income from ports, melee defense, campaign movement range. I think for someone like Tyrion, the best thing you can really get is either a campaign movement range or income from post-battle loot. But I'm gonna go for campaign movement range. It's more important from my perspective. And I've wiped out Safri's entire army over there.
Tyrion, heir of an area.
And I can just do some merging over here to get 2 units
Champion
and get these 2 regiments right now. Though I don't have to do it this turn.
Master of
I don't have to rush that. I've got a decent amount of money over there. What do you do if? What do you do in the situation, the likely situation one should mention?
Very well.
What do you do in the quite likely situation in which Safri doesn't have an army like that? Well, you just assault directly, and I've talked about this in the Siege Battle video. It's like every settlement has like a dead zone. Every single Siege Battle has like a dead zone. It's harder to find it for the High Elves, but the White Tower of Hoeth has a certain spot in it where you can just position an army so they shoot without having to worry about counterfire, or very minimal. In fact, I took significantly more casualties here by doing that, by just auto-resolving it right there, as opposed to fighting the battle manually. Though the major benefit is that I was able to wipe out the entire garrison, so I didn't have to go back to it again. And yeah, I'm just gonna get some extra spearmen. Yeah, you do want some spearmen in your army, and yeah, I'm getting a lot of units here. Let me just actually get the archers, proper archers. Forget that. Rangers are good infantry units, because while spearmen are great at holding the line, they won't really do too much damage. Rangers are more vulnerable, sure, but they are quite effective infantry units against other infantry. They're quite capable of doing an enormous amount of damage. Now over here, they've taken quite a bit of damage fighting the Calidor has taken a lot of damage fighting Noctilus, but Noctilus is not the concern. Laverne is safe. It's not going to be under threat. You've got bigger fish to fry. You want to take that Phoenix Gate. But after this point, you know, I'll just take Torfenu and move to the Phoenix Gate, and I'll talk about taking that when we get there. Might just be able to auto-resolve it. But I'm probably going to have to fight that manually, you know, just in case. You might encounter a situation where it is garrisoned by a powerful army. You might just continue laying the siege. Get Alariel to help you out if push comes to shove. Have her take the damage in the battle. Alright, so I've taken Torfenu over here. I've got a rebellion that's going to spring up next turn in this particular settlement, though that's not too big of a major issue. As far as I see it, I'm still gonna get some settlements here. Alariel, however, has taken the Phoenix Gate. That can create some issues in your campaign, since you're supposed to be the one that should take it. Actually, it's worse when she burns it to the ground. I've seen her do that quite a few times. Anyway, here I'm just going to take Evershale. I'm going to auto-resolve that. At this point, with a full stack of troops and regiments renowned, I can auto-resolve a lot of these settlement battles. No problem whatsoever. Just gonna sack that, get the money, occupy it, use the invocation of Assyrian. Although I might have wanted to wait there a bit, because that rebellion would have actually been a really good thing for to happen. So I'll just wait for it to happen. Just gonna get some regular archer units for her. As for Safari, what I'm going to do with her is get that military alliance, get a lot of money from her, and hopefully that will be enough to make that work. And I'm gonna move Tyrion I'm going to move Tyrion through Elarion there. Then just get this entire skill tree. Still got 1 skill point. Okay, all very well and good. You don't need to bother with other units, though you may want to pick up the combined elite skill, just to improve your rangers, your archers, Silver and Guard, units that you're going to use. You don't necessarily need to buff Tyrion's personal combat skill level at this particular point. Now, of course, there is a quest battle, but you don't need to do that too quickly either, though it would be beneficial if you were to do it very, very quickly. Now, what's interesting is I keep getting a bunch of diplomatic choices over here, non-aggression pacts that I can get with various factions. And this can generally net you a lot of money, though be a bit careful who you're making deals with, because you don't want to piss off some factions. Like, I'm not too worried about making a non-aggression pact with Templehof over there, for instance.
Sigma's will.
But yeah, make deals with the Bretonnian factions in particular. Trade deals if you can, though in my case I've already got too many trade partners. I need to wait for Crix to be wiped out. Once they do get wiped out, I should be able to get another trading partner.
Yes.
And
These
Leonis.
lands I never fail.
Now, once the Phoenix Gate is captured, either by you or Alariel, if you can get that before her, and you might be able to, that would be the best situation. But if she takes it, it's whatever. Let her take it. Let her be the northern bulwark. You've got issues to deal with over here in the south against Crix, and then against Noctilus. They're going to be bigger issues for you to deal with than anything in the north. Besides, the north is a wasteland. It's not hospitable at all. Let Alariel deal with that. Let her take the territory. Let her be vulnerable against Nakari, though she wouldn't necessarily be that vulnerable either. And now would be a good time for me to actually fight that quest battle, because all I'm going to be doing here is just marching through Elarion territory in order to reach the south, reach Calador. Now, Noctilus might take Calador by this point. He is going to be at war with both Terranok and Calador. It's interesting that in this campaign he decided to take Terranok, but yeah, that could change dependent on the situation that you are facing.
Great powers the world over are mobilizing for war, Prince Tyrion.
Alright, we get also a second quest battle over here for the sake of Sunfang. That might actually be the easier one to deal with, by the way. Now here I'm just gonna get some wine, get that to a higher level, get that to a higher level. Well, still no rebellion. Disappointing. How very, very disappointing. Alright, and I'm guessing that I'm not gonna face any rebellions because the province instability is just gonna slowly go down. I do have a decent amount of money. Could get some regular archer units.
Archmage's duty. The most gifted.
Or some non-elite units. Yeah, just do that. If the rebellion springs up, so be it. It's going to spring up in Safri all the same. And I am going to teleport to deal with Sunfang. The dragon armor of an Aryan is good, the Sunfang is just a better choice. And it's also an easier battle, as far as I see it. Not that getting the armor is a hard one, but this one genuinely is an easier one. Now, it might benefit from having 19 units in your army, as opposed to 20, because that would allow you to potentially get the artillery that they have. But there's no guarantee when it comes to that. I'm just gonna skip Tyrion's pre-battle speech. Now over here, what you want to do is you want to position all of your units facing this way. Tyrion as well. Actually move these guys over here. Now the artillery range, as you can see, it's this right here. Now the reason I'm doing that is because in this quest battle we are going to get a bunch of units spawning from there that we want to deal with. There we go. I think you need to get closer to the enemy before the lore masters start joining in the fun, so to speak. Now be careful here, because those guys are powerful units.
Onwards to victory!
Incoming enemy spells!
For my lady!
Without fail!
Orders received! Going forth! Immediately!
Winds of magic rise!
Attack! Defender of Ulf One!
Alright, more lore master units coming in. Let's deploy to take them on.
Archers! For order! We will obey! Asur, attack! Heir of Anarian! Ulf One!
Not losing a good portion of your army to the lore masters is the battle, so to speak.
Men Louis! Araya Men Louis!
Alright, they're pulling back in a stupid way. Alright, they're falling back. Okay. Now, over here. That part of the battle is done. We still have the enemy army over on this side. I will try and use Tyrion to soak some of the damage from them. Send Arcane Phoenix. But that's not gonna work. Okay, fine then. Let's drop a meteor on their hides. And of course they dodge it because the AI is just the king of dodging abilities.
We advance!
Ulfwan Mage.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Loyal!
Orders received.
Following Ethua.
Without fail.
I move these fellows forward.
Archers. For order. For Ulfwan. For order.
Ulfwan Mage.
Drop another one.
Scython, hear me.
Tireless!
Now this army could be incredibly damaged at this point, and it still wouldn't matter because you get extra replenishment when you do these quest
Lapoi
battles.
Soraya.
And I am in allied territory.
Understood!
I wouldn't want to fight two of these battles one after another, though.
Loyal!
Two of these quest battles, especially not the one against Malekith.
The Reaper!
Though the one against Malekith is pretty goddamn easy, honestly.
Cooling the winds.
I go! Glory awaits! Striking forth!
Although, maybe I would benefit from getting that unit of spearmen killed when it's only...
By Assyrian! We go! March! To battle!
Crush them.
Weapons ready! Moving out!
Yes. Winds of magic rise.
Spearmen.
For duty! We will obey! Assyrian guides us!
Loven Seagull.
Right,
Heir of
lots of my
Anton.
ammunition has been expanded.
Archers.
Expended, rather. He is a tough cookie. There we
No
go.
mercy!
And another decisive victory. But there is a chance that if you have slot in your army and you're facing artillery of your same faction, you can capture that artillery. I think it's like 10% or something along those lines.
Fine! Champion of the Ever Queen, we shall not rest.
Alright, so I'm in allied territory, I am replenishing, and Tyrion gained an extra level. Gonna get the Ward of Loic and going to get combined elites. Gonna use that. And then I'll worry about buffing Tyrion's own combat skill. Over here, get magical reserves for her. And yeah, no point. Well, maybe there is a point actually in repairing that. By the way, yeah, rebellion is not gonna spring up. Might want a new lord over here instead of her.
For Hoeth.
But let's see what options are available over here. Let's see, high magic, dampener, no. No. You do want a lord that has a good skill. Administrator would be pretty damn good. But let's see, shadows. She would be a builder.
True magic.
I mean, she has the downside of having minus 10% physical resistance. It's not it's not the worst stat, especially if you are going to replace her. Yeah, let's get the golden crown over there. It's a pretty sweet item to have. I should have actually equipped that a bit ago. Anyway, end the turn. Now my campaign goal here will be to march to take Calidor and hopefully beat Noctilus to the punch when it comes to it. Though Calidor does have an entire army over there. Though I guess they've managed to lose it all completely. Just there. Okay. So we can get some a lot of influence, and there I can replace the hero there. Now I do get the Invocation of Vol unlocked, which is pretty good. Now I will only have this for 3 more turns. That should be enough to prevent any rebellion from springing up there. She's gonna move there, but then she's gonna get replaced as well. Let's see what we get. It's also useful sometimes to look at the others, though archmages in general are the best choice you can get. The reason is because getting mages can be something of a major bloody pain, but sometimes other heroes can be also useful to look at. So if I want high magic, and high magic in general is really good, that would be pretty damn nice actually. Okay. Because Slippery will give her an enormous amount of combat ability. That's the kind of hero you want to have on a dragon, because it's just going to... it is just going to be very, very useful. Okay. Gonna get 2 more ranger units. 4 is probably the maximum that I'm willing to play with. With Tyrion, just gonna move him inside of my own territory. Alright, Nakari still hasn't managed to wipe out Crix. That is amazing.
You stand before them.
Tell you what, it's better probably if Nakari does wipe out Crix. Don't get me wrong on that, but we could actually save Crix over there. Confederations though have a significant downside in terms of public order. Let's teleport. Face down the Witch King. Get the dragon armor of an Aryan. For all the bullshit that this game might tell you in terms of like, oh, it would just be a Pyrrhic victory, no. You're gonna wipe out this entire vanguard with relative ease. And then wipe out the Witch King's arm. Alright, here we are on the battlefield. Alright, their vanguard is going to deploy. What you need to know in this situation is the following. Is exceptionally easy in this battle to not be flanked, and that's precisely what I'm going to do. Gonna deploy all my units there, Tyrion and the mage here, Ladrin Seaguard over here. Gotta watch out for those Dark Riders though.
Servant of light! Archers!
Silver Helms are better units.
Understood! Defending order! Heir of Anarian! It is done!
See if we can get it.
To victory!
No.
Understood. Move.
Did a bit of damage, but not as much as it could have been.
Orders received. Without fail.
Orders received.
Understood.
Of one!
Silver Helms!
It is a long cooldown,
Shall be done.
but I will certainly have it to deal with the Witch King
Heir of
himself.
Anarion, going forth.
Silver Helms!
Onward!
Alright, he's dead. His entire army is almost dead.
Heir of Anarion.
Now Tyrion needs to be in a combat situation to get
Heir of Anarion.
the cooldown of Sunfang to go down.
Sunfang lusts for battle.
Alright, Malekith is heading over there.
Acknowledged. Onward! Onward!
Onward!
I go.
Alright.
Loyal. We will obey. Lakoi!
Malekith is the most dangerous stuff, but the AI with him does tend to do stupid shit like, yeah, getting him killed for no apparently good reason.
Shield of the Ever Queen.
Spellcaster!
So much for the Great Witch King.
Sword of the Assur.
Understood.
For order.
There he is. He's dead.
Assur warrior. Sail! As you say.
Now he does still have his army, of course. Cold One Riders in particular can be a bit of an issue, Centurion there.
Heir of Anarion.
And then we've got his entire monstrous part of the army. There's Dark Shards coming in.
My power is
There's
yours.
Black
Go
Ark
away.
Corsairs coming in. Black Ark Corsairs are extremely good against... would be extremely good against my army over here. That's why I'm thankful that Malekith tends to get himself so very quickly killed over there.
Winds of
Just
magic
deploying that a bit to the back because it is going to move, and I really wouldn't want to have it move through my own units.
As you say. For Assyrian!
Kill them.
Right.
It will be done.
For the king!
Where's Teclis? He was supposed to be here. I've won the entire battle without him. Who needs Teclis anyway?
Destroy
Oh,
them!
our victory is assured. When we've already won the battle. Yeah. Corner camp. Malekith charges in like an idiot. Win the battle. Nope. Alright, so the Witch King is dead, and I've actually gained his trait, which is Frenzy for his entire army.
Champion of the Ever
That's
Queen.
great.
I never tire.
And now let's force march with Tyrion. There's no unit that I need to replace over here. Gonna start getting his melee combat skill. And for her, I'm going to get Miska as Chance, Leaf's Blessing.
You must restore
Yes,
order.
get this to a higher level. I am swimming in cash.
High Elven
As a result
patronage.
of, all of the... Yeah. Outposts are not worth it right now.
For my queen.
Oh, they might have wiped out one of Dr. Blitz's armies, actually.
Shall meet.
Well, let them fight. I can worry about that later. He's taken pretty much the entirety there.
Defender of the Ever Queen.
Elarion is still getting units. And
My people have
Terranok
striven.
is... Well, Akari has declared war against me. Let's see what Alariel is gonna do. The north is her problem.
I despise you and all that you stand for.
Morathi is going to be my issue, however. eventually I am going to end up fighting Noctilus. It might be a good idea to take my 2 stacks over here instead of worrying about Calidor. Just take my 2 stacks, wipe out the Galleon Graveyard, and then come back, worry about everything else. That is a plan. It could work out very well. In fact, it's probably what I'm going to do here. Sending 2 stacks against the Galleon Graveyard is a lot, but eliminating the Galleon Graveyard as one of the first moves in the war between us might just be the better thing I can do here. Now get this to level 2. Get more. Well, do I need more public order? That's 4 plus. Okay. No, should be quite fine. This army is going to go take
They will die.
this element.
The winds of magic guide us.
Just take it over.
Magic in purest form.
Now, if Elfarion does decide to intervene here,
Have you come to help me avenge my father? If not, for the
yeah,
fall.
just pay him for military access. And I'll check the deals you can make. Trade agreements, all that kind of stuff.
Be still, Sylvain. It is done.
Okay. Carcassonne. I find it funny that you can make deals with Manfred. I really do.
Not
Defender of the Ever Queen.
Alright, so Alariel is going to claim that.
I will receive your petition in the name of the Phoenix King. Most astute.
Maybe Kofi could be persuaded to intervene against Nakari.
The Phoenix Court awaits your plea with interest.
Nope.
Yes.
Although, there is a bit of a cheese I can use. Oh man, the influence system. This thing really needs some better cataloging, I gotta say. Where is Kofik? Where is Kofik? Damn it, dude.
We are ill at ease.
Yeah, before using any influence, it's probably worth looking at this. So, key would be great for any army, really.
Ulf One's defender.
I'm just going to get rid of these archers over here.
Servant of the king.
Then yeah, Tyrion is going to go via the sea to, well, invade Noctilus. She's going to get more archers.
Tyrion. I await your command. I will continue soon.
What?
Lord of Bretonia.
So I'm strength rank 3. I've got 2 entire provinces. I'm in a pretty good spot, all things considered.
Hoef's disciple.
Could get some Lateran Seaguard for
Student
her.
of Teclis.
Maybe I should, actually. Merge these 2
bring
together,
Assyrian's
get
fire.
that as a regiment of renown. Take down the capital of Southern Evres. Hold Southern Evres, really. Because if I can take it as a province under my control, that's better than giving it to Elfarion and then having to confederate with him. Although one thing to be said about diplomacy is that the AI generally will... Alright, so he's got... so he's besieging it there. Never mind. Unless he's just sacked it. If he just sacks it instead of taking it over, that's great for me personally. And I'm not in a hurry here. Marafi is gonna take some time to arrive, and she actually has to go for a lot of territory to do so. Tyrion doesn't like Halador, and they don't like him. But in this case, maybe I should use them as a western bulwark. Elarion should be fine. The gate there that they do have should give them a great deal of protection.
Noble son of Ulthuan, shield against the darkness.
All right.
You have my attention.
Well,
Tyrion, heir
it's
of an
probably
area.
better to just move
Your
along
request.
with the noble.
I am a fount of knowledge.
High Elven Archmage. For the Vortex. They are unworthy.
Okay.
They will suffer the might of Safari.
Just occupy the Shrine of Loak.
Pure magic.
But without the capital city, it's a bit pointless over there.
I will consider any suggestion that aids Tor Evres.
Get a defensive alliance with him.
Make this quick. I have
Hello,
important matters.
Teclis.
You approach a dark throne. I pray this serves Nagaris.
I can afford spending that money. Because I have got more than I can actually spend. The thing is, you don't want to... like, I could get the third army here, conceivably. But I don't want to do that, because if I did that...
Her servant. Speed is essential. Until next time.
right, if I did that, what would end up happening... is I wouldn't be able to afford a full third army. Because this is too fast. Well, maybe just ever so slightly.
Trained
I
by the
might.
White Tower.
But it's better to save up the money right now from income. This should... yeah, I should be able to start getting into tier 3 soon enough. The benefit there, of course, is... the major benefit in that situation would, of course, be the fact that with tier 3, I should be able to get siege equipment over on that side. And with Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, okay, let's get the Cult of Sigmar and Non-Aggression Pact. Okay.
Win.
Armored in faith.
What do you seek from the Asur, traveler? How wise.
So they're at war with Be'lakor. Yeah, it's probably best if they don't get involved in anything right now.
Of the realm.
Speak.
Queen of Avalon.
You know what? I think I'll give over all of this
Magic
territory to
endures
Elfarion.
Hear you. I promise
But
no
first
more
he
than
needs
that.
to take over that particular settlement. But give all of this territory to Elfarion. Not for money, but for him joining the war against
Servant of the
Nakari.
king. Pausing for a moment.
Alright, so that's still level 1 only.
The sea
That's
breathes
a bit of an interesting one. Who is Noctilus at war with? He's at war with Halador and he's at war with Evres. What is he doing there? That is a bit bizarre. Anyway, end the turn. Now, quite frankly, you may expect to end up fighting Noctilus a lot earlier than I will over here. But it depends on
sense
what he
what you
does.
have
Like,
to
if he
say
wipes out
will not
Calador, then
please
that makes sense, right? Ooh, you're gonna pick up a fight against the whole of Wolf 1. Mind you, Grom generally struggles when... like, Grom generally struggles in the campaign.
Speak your poison.
How many factions are just gonna declare war on me? They have no chance of actually going in there. You gotta love it. I mean, actually, as the High Elves, you suffer from one problem. Because when you get the trade agreement, you get vision. And when you get vision, factions tend to declare war against you. So that's great, because this will actually help me with my alliances.
Shield against the darkness. We cannot
Alright,
wait.
so Tyrion's gonna move there, so you can take that settlement.
Teclis's command.
She's gonna move next to this settlement over here. And we're gonna get this to tier 3. Okay, the public order, it should stabilize, but let's help it even further. Alright, so Invocation of Val, but I'll do it next turn. The Invocation of Val is going to help you a lot when it comes to siege battles. Especially when you don't have artillery, which I do not over here.
A dignified visitor. So
Okay.
I have heard tales of your kind. Please speak. As you say.
Alright, so have them capture the Griffin Gate, put an end to that situation.
Master Mage.
And wait one more turn. Okay, so I'm going to attack the Galleon Graveyard, but I'm going to declare war on my own. I'm not going to get Alariel involved. She's got other issues to deal with, like the Scourge of Cain and Nakari. If she can wipe on Nakari, that's great. Now, normally I would invoke Val at this point, but I don't need to against these fellows. And I'm just gonna loot and occupy it and then abandon it next turn. Right, just flat out abandon it.
Tyrion, heir of an area.
It might feel like a waste of time, and in a lot of ways it actually is, right? In a lot of ways it absolutely is a significant waste of time over here. Although I could keep it, since it does have a decent amount of control, and it does give me reef attrition benefits. Let's repair it.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
Sadly enough, the elves don't have any way of tackling that. But yeah, I could also abandon it. My income here is in a pretty solid enough state. Get more over there in terms of public order. Don't have enough on that side to...
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, and he's gained a level, get replenished troops. That's one of the great things about nobles. Not gonna repair that, not worth the money. Now here, this army is encamped here. And my hope is that Elfarion attacks this element and sacks it. If he sacks it, that's great from a lot of perspectives as I see it. If he doesn't decide to sack it and just takes it over, that's also fine. I'll give him the Shrine of Loic and the Cairn. Let's see what he does. But I do expect that he will take it over. Okay. He wants a trade agreement. So let's see if he's willing to give me a bit more money. Okay, let's get that trade agreement. Alright, he's taken over the settlement. I didn't help him because why take the casualties when you don't need to? I did move that army there so he would do it faster. The AI is really reluctant to attack settlements even if they would win overwhelmingly win. Unless, like, moving the army there made Elfarion seem more confident, so he attacked the settlement. He's more likely to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna give him a rest, but I'm gonna ask him to join the war against Nakari. Him and Alariel should be able to take down Nakari on their own. While I go deal with that situation. Let's see over here. Now, we have a problem. Since she controls the Phoenix Gate, and I can't get that from her. This desperately needs a fix. Hopefully the patch will fix that. Alright, Crix has been destroyed.
State your case quickly, for countless Asur lives depend upon me.
All right, that would be good.
In my father's name.
And sadly enough, I did not get the heart. This does happen.
We shall not rest.
It's an actual... it's an major issue. Let's stop taking taxes. Maybe that will prevent a rebellion.
Servant of the king.
What are you doing there, good sir?
Full speed, Asur!
A rogue army, huh?
Speak quickly, for I must not be distracted from my vow.
Alright, just give it for free.
Necessary.
Deliver your terms, and I shall.
Okay.
Yes.
The
Lord of Bretagne.
Welcome to fair Bretonia.
Agreed.
Not gonna get the military alliance with them, although I certainly could. But yeah, my income took a nosedive over there. But that is an acceptable situation as far as I see it.
bring Azurians
Gonna get some regular archers there, gonna get some siege equipment as
Tyrion,
well.
heir of Anarion. A brief interlude.
And
Speak
we
your
move
quoted
on
words
against
indeed.
Calador, who have gotten their army wiped out there. With the two full stacks that I do have assembled here, I should be able to take down, I will be able to take down Calador and Noctilus with quite a great deal of ease. Basically, I've solved the early game. I'm in a great position, got good allies, they'll be able to take down Nakari. The Heart of Avalorn, losing that, yeah, that does suck. Don't get me wrong on that. You might be able to capture it. Like, if Alariel raises the settlement to the ground, just take it over yourself. But yeah, these kind of bugs are really getting on one's nerves. Because the heart is one of those items that actually contributes a great deal to Tyrion being an unstoppable horde on the battlefield. Not having it is not just like, oh, you don't have some stats. Not having it is the difference between Tyrion being unstoppable, an unstoppable menace on the battlefield and just being another lord. That is the difference between that. Okay.
Shaper of fates. Be prepared, Asur. Wrath of the heavens.
So yeah, just gonna go wipe out this army and move on. Okay, so a couple of turns later, the kind of situation that has come up is that I've got an army from Grom the Punch coming in against me, threatening my core settlements, so I'm gonna need to take at least one army to deal with that, probably my secondary army. And I've also got Morathi coming in to threaten me as well. Morathi is gonna be an easy one to deal with, I reckon. Although I can't actually get to her.
Ulf one. I shall go.
With the exception of doing something like that.
Led by the
And
winds.
force march.
At your service.
She is gonna take. She is taking some attrition damage. Elfarion the Grim is moving over there. Hopefully, it will be enough. Get some spearmen from global recruitment, because right now I have significant benefit in terms of global recruitment because of Tyrion's skill over there.
Of magic.
And yeah, some archers as well. Spending a lot of money on getting that third army, panic recruitment, so to speak. Well, when you have a Greenskin Wa army descending on you, you kind of feel the pressure, so to speak.
Acceptable.
So to speak, put against you.
The lady grants you safe passage. If you
Alright, get the trade agreement with them. But the thing is, Grom doesn't really have any, like, this is the hilarity of what ends up happening in these kind of campaigns. Like, Grom literally doesn't have anything except, like, anything of value, except, like, if I look here, he might have the southern part, but really, all he's got is Paravan in his main settlement here, and he is sending his main combat force against me. Well, he's actually, wow, okay, never mind, forget it. He's taken out Durfu. While Durfu just lets it happen. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Grom won't accomplish much. The forests just aren't that valuable. But regardless, sending an entire invasion force against me is just ridiculously fucking stupid. Alright, Morathi is over there. And I might be able to turn this army around to hit her. And wipe her out. Or who knows? It is a suicide mission for Morathi, regardless of how one cuts it. Noctilus has decided to go on shore. Fair enough. Alright, I can choose to lose a bit of influence or a significant amount of income for... Well, I'll dance with the matriarch of Illyrian.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
I feel that's the better choice, really, over there.
Ready yourselves.
Shock right off! Let me think about it. No!
Hard battle awaits me.
Go.
But it is a battle. Well, actually, I'm much stronger than they are. Alright, so over here with the battle against Grom's army, the game would tell me that I would suffer a valiant defeat over here. This is an entire Wa army, and he has a bunch of units here. Crucially, I think he's got the upgrade for units, or he's got the cauldron effect to get explosive arrows that would reduce the leadership of, or arrows to reduce the leadership of my army. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have to focus on taking out this army, and I'm gonna deselect controlling large army. So these reinforcements won't show up, but crucially these guys won't show up for a significant portion of the battle. I feel I gain more than I lose, especially since he's got a bunch of archer units, stone trolls, river trolls over here. So those would be, that's 3 troll units I would have to face at the same time if I did that, so it's just better off for me to do something. Now, there are a bunch of formations I could use in this situation. I think the best deployment zone is probably going to be over here. I could go with the checkerboard formation as well, if I so desire, like so, so that I have gaps between my units. Position 1 unit over there. Actually, I'll position Ladron Seaguard over on that side. Get the spearmen to be situated over here. 2 spearmen units. And rangers, 1 spearman unit to deal with things from the back, and the rangers will be positioned over here. Or 1 unit over here in the wood, maybe 2 units in the woods, split apart a bit. Okay, like so. It's not the best formation, but it will get the job done. And now speed the battle up. I know the AI is going to try and flank me over here. So I'm going to deploy my guys over like there to deal with them. Okay, they're attacking. Now, this is great. The AI does love to take its skirmisher units, and it does love to try and use said skirmisher units to try and flank you. But of course, in this kind of situation, I am not going to let them do that. Alright, trolls coming in. Over there. Goal is to try and take down their archer units, their orc archer units, because those arrows are going to be devastating for my unit morale if I let that be the case.
Without fail.
Right, take down those orc archer units. Enemy units are going to be coming into the battlefield. More units coming in there. Let's deal with the trolls. And deal with their leader as well. Take down those orc archer boys over on that side. Prevent them really from getting a lot of shots off.
It shall be done.
As you can see, those arrows over there are quite deadly.
Magic's unleashed.
Understood.
Spearmen!
Pull these guys back and have the spearmen deal with them. Spearmen are great line holders. And one of the issues I'm going to encounter over here is
Kill them. Serve the king. Acknowledged.
one of the problems I'm going to encounter here is I don't have a full stack of them.
Archers.
Pull these guys back and keep shooting the enemy over here. Try and take down their hero, really, because if I can take down their hero, that is a great situation for myself to be in. Just keep these guys over as they are, right here. Get these archers to keep shooting into the ranks of the enemy. Now, if I can kill their hero before the reinforcements arrive, that's a great state to find myself in. And flank these guys, turn these guys around to shoot at the blob. The blob right now is fairly vulnerable. I might lose a lot of rangers. This is just not the kind of situation in which they would thrive in. So I'm gonna pull them back, retreat with them, and start getting some reinforcements like the second lord over there. Start getting that. Get some healing over there. Now these guys are just going to get completely wiped out. Over there. And I feel like I can deal with the WoW army quite well enough regardless of the situation. Just start shooting there. Reinforcements are going to start arriving here as I pull some of these units back. He's under a lot of pressure over there. Put more pressure. Ingeter, as a level 1 lord, much of the enemy army is breaking apart over here. And since the reinforcements are going to start arriving, they're not going to arrive all of them at the same time, however. Get those spearmen that I'm picking up as reinforcements, get them. Get them back. And keep doing damage over here. Alright. More explosions in my units, but more of my units coming in to join the fight. Who's doing that explosive? It's just that orc archer unit that hasn't been completely broken from the field of battle. That's fine, however. Pull these guys out. Okay, they keep chasing the trolls. Stop chasing the trolls. Waste the time.
Understood. At once.
For order. Archers.
And try and kill that goblin hero. Without him, the entire army will crumble.
archers!
And let me speed this up. Okay. Reposition over here. Get those orc boys into position. And just wait for more reinforcements. And now we just destroy the reinforcements one at a time. That's the benefit in calling these armies one at a time, that you get the luxury, so to speak, of being able to deal with them like this. Even if I run out of ammunition, which is certainly a possibility. Let's get these guys out. Even if I run out of ammunition, it doesn't really matter right now. It's just the Wa army. The Wa army is going to collapse very shortly. There's also archer reinforcements that I do have. Gonna pull some of these damaged archers that heavily damaged archers that are especially low on ammunition. Send them against the trolls. Get a bunch of units there, and get these guys to help in that situation. Get those goblin archers dealt with. She's gonna break soon enough. Let's get some replenishment on her. Use the items. Should have actually used those items earlier, but it's no matter. Just keep the shooting up. Keep it going. And they'll eventually start breaking apart. A tough battle, sure. Lower their stats over there. Now what's interesting is that the Wa army doesn't seem to have the archer effect, so to speak. I don't even know what they were doing there. Alright, more of them are breaking. All of them are breaking. Just finish them off. I didn't even get the entire reinforcement army, I believe, because there were some Illyrians that I could have gained. Alright, it's a Pyrrhic victory, but I did defeat 2 entire stacks of troops. Alright, so she's gained an extra level over there. Multiple choices, but I think I am going to get the campaign movement range for her, get chain lightning for her, get the greater ward for her, get a lot of power for her. Dismiss these guys and instead get an extra, well, get an extra eagle claw at the moment. Get Bowmaster on her and start getting this to tier 3. With regards to Tyrion, he's not going to do anything because he can't do anything. And then that will, of course, leave Morathi. Now, Grom showing up like that is a fairly surprising turn of events, I admit. But it can happen, especially if you get trade agreements. Like, the thing is, you need to first come into contact with Grom. What are you doing, my lady?
You seek the lady.
What are you doing, my dude?
Fey Enchantress of Bretonnia, if you desire it.
So is Nakari just gonna take out Tor of Res? Or is Elfarion just gonna... and is Elfarion gonna need some help? Well, Nakari is certainly a formidable foe. Where is Elfarion? Where is Elfarion? Well, he's on his own. Now, it would have been great to get Morathi to... it would have been great to catch Morathi in this kind of movement stance. Don't get me wrong on that.
I will lead
But at the same time, if I hadn't moved on the sea, she probably wouldn't have landed the way she did there. So there are pros and cons, of course. Noctilus is over here, so I need to be mindful of what I do end up doing with Tyrion. Maybe just sacking the settlement, killing Morathi would be the best approach until I can get the secondary army over there. Because if I fight Morathi,
what you have to say and the merit of your actions.
If I end up fighting Morathi and then losing a lot of men, Noctilus will just come in, potentially take out Tyrion before I can march reinforcement armies. There's no rush. Like, if you can secure Ulfwan, you're in a great position. You can grow your economy, take the time. Sort it all out. Research-wise, yeah, I've gotten these 4. I'm gonna get more. Let's get trumpeters. I could also pick trade advancements, and I think I will, in point of fact. This army right here is going to march into Vald's Anvil. This army is going to march into Lothern. Yes, get more Eagle Claws. Over on this side, how much am I gaining from trade? 2,000. It's not worth really investing in that right now. It will be later on, but not right now. So Morathi is over here in this element. It's quite likely that I'm going to need to fight this manually. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to fight this manually. Or I could auto-resolve it,
Sunfang hungers.
sack the settlement, and then get the hell out of there.
Search this place.
The reason I'm sacking the settlement is so that I can move Tyrion back. So I gained a lot of effects over there, a decent amount of money too. Going to upgrade that port right now. Noctilus is going to be next. Now, as for Tyrion, I think Hard to Hit and Blade Master, 2 skills. You do want to unlock his his higher end combat skill. And these 2 armies, each of them could potentially take down Noctilus. Together, they will certainly take him down without any real problems. And you know what, in point of fact, I'm just going to move this closer so that Tyrion can pick up the Eagle Claws from her. Also gonna get rid of these guys, because there's no point in wasting good money there. Hopefully Elfarion does end up beating back Nakari over on that side. Alariel is laying siege to Nakari's capital, though she might lose the settlement she gained, but that's not really too significant, I feel.
Not burden that.
What would you have of me?
Just gotta play these moves correctly. But yeah, Morathi is dead, Noctilus will soon be dead. Pretty much Ulfwan is saved. It might take a bit, and Nakari might take Tour of Rest. If Nakari does that, then obviously that's a brutal blow, but it doesn't really matter as long as we can secure the coastline over here. We're in a pretty damn good position if that ends up happening. I wonder if there's a mod so you can get the item for Tyrion. Hopefully there should be, because I could get the entire set bonus, get more allegiance points, and get the Heart of Avalorn, which is a really important item in battles. Alright, so several turns later, Morathi is dead. Noctilus is over here with his entire army. But thankfully, I do have multiple armies of my own.
Ready yourselves.
to bring to bear against him. Between the garrison and the two armies that I do have, should be quite sufficient to wipe him out, and as expected it quite is. Now of course this was the fortunate situation in which Noctilus did not take Calidor, but even if he had taken Calidor, he wouldn't necessarily automatically declare war against you. Okay, so I would lose some rangers, but not really worth the hassle, especially since they're not very high rank. So that's sorted out.
True magic.
We're gonna pull back over here, get more units to be recruited, get the rangers. I do have the Dark Elves marching an entire army against me over there.
Magic in purest
But that isn't going to be too big of a concern.
Shield against the darkness.
And Noctilus is just down to this particular settlement, so just take it out.
I lust for battle.
Loot and occupy it. A rebellion might spring up soon enough, but that's fine. If it does spring up, it actually will. For certain right now, that's fine. We deal with the rebels, stabilize the province,
Defender of the Phoenix throne.
and then get the Griffin Gate. One of the things to mention the gates is you really want to put them in trivia mode for the extra income that you're gonna get. And yeah, they've been sorted out. Get growth and cost reduction over there. Elfarian should be able to finish Nakari off, and I will finish Terranok off, and that will help stabilize the entire situation there.
Know that I expect my support.
Get the trade agreement going there. And yeah, second most powerful faction on the map. Taking Safford really early on is a genuine boon, and avoiding a war with Noctilus until you're damn ready for it is also a significant boon. Now I did claim Elarian's army over there. Alright, for her, Ward of Hoeth is pretty useless really. Let's get that cursed in. And for him, more hard to hit. Just want to make him very, very hard to hit. Get more bows over on that side. I also have a couple of regiments of renown available. White Lions, all that kind of stuff. Over here, I think I'm going to go with public order, because I am going to need some public order buildings to help stabilize the situation over on that side. Now over here, get more trade agreements. Now public order is of course going to go down by quite a lot due to the confederations that I've enacted, or the confederation I've enacted. Just something worth bearing in mind over there. We can get wine, and I think I will. In Elarian. There might be a rebellion there in Elarian. Now what's interesting here is, as we notice, like, I know Marafi's got her initial province over there, but she hasn't actually taken the Bleak Coast, which means that she is actually going to end up being limited. Now the initial province she has is pretty good, and she's not at war with anyone else, so it's gonna be up to me to deal with lovely Marafi over there.
Armored in faith.
Let's hear it.
By either way.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
Yep. In the turn, get the it's a vampire rebellion.
What brings you
What
here?
do you want? Huh, he doesn't particularly like me. Who knew? The trade agreement itself is not really worth all that much. And who knows, maybe I'll get Certosa. I feel like I'll have to take down Marafi with just Tyrion's army, because other armies are just going to be focused on keeping the situation stabilized. Tarax is dead, almost. But yeah, I've gotten Tyrion. Just gonna go deal with the Griffin Gate over there. And the rebellion can wait a bit, I reckon. Because they're not just gonna instantly attack, and if you wait a bit, that might be very beneficial to you from other perspective. Now,
be prepared,
I could certainly
sorcerer. I know my destination.
go deal with these fellows over here. I might lose some units, but that's just what I get for not giving a shit about dot resolve.
Trained by the White Tower. Find the wind.
Okay,
Row,
speed it up.
I control the flow.
But let's see what we lose. Yep, just the Rangers. They, if there is any downside, sadly enough, with the Rangers, is that they tend to take significantly more casualties. Like, oh, Sartosa is coming. Of course they are.
Student of Teclis. Full sail.
Let's send her into Lothern. Fall back with them.
A reckoning. Want to slit
She might
Magic's unleashed.
actually wipe out this entire army.
Magic in purest form.
Unfortunately enough.
Choose your next words.
I do like when AI factions just like YOLO it versus against you.
Windshaper.
I can get more trade agreements, but honestly, none of these guys. Emmerich might be.
I will not fail.
Emmerich is surprisingly durable when it comes down to it. I wonder how Emmerich is gonna feel when he finds out you've wiped out his homeland. It's like whatever, right?
Honor before. Valiant Lord.
Now, trading agreement, now research-wise, there's nothing I can get in trade just yet. So I'm gonna get naval discipline. Tyrion is going to go take the Griffin Gate.
I second this.
I am ready to fight.
I would lose a lot of units over there.
Kill them.
Prince of Elfwa. Making my way.
I'm fine with that.
Strong leader is needed. Your bidding.
Because I don't really care about the cavalry, honestly. Not that kind of cavalry. Let's root and occupy it. And also get trade tariffs sorted out over there. Gonna be at a bit of a disadvantage. I could recruit another lord. Get that cooldown, get public order. Gonna need help to stabilize the situation here. Gonna get more into Chain Lightning and Ward of Loic for him. Pick it up. She's gonna need rank 10 for that. She doesn't necessarily have the best class over there of spells. Right, so Tyrion is destroyed. The Griffin Gate is mine. And I can also get settlements to a higher level. Let's get the Shrine of Assyrian to level 3. And over here, public order gonna be needed, or else we're gonna face a rebellion. Though it's certainly gonna go away once once I get the invocation of Assyrian, which I should be able to soon enough, and once I sort the situation. If I lose that entire army under her, that would be a disappointment, but it might just be enough to
What do you wish to discuss?
do a significant amount of damage Ooh, Alifanar preparing to declare war against us. It seems everyone. I'm a bit too powerful. Thankfully, Sartosa decided, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Because if she had attacked, yes, I would have lost my army. Unless I had pulled some cheese on the battlefield. But then she would have lost her army as well. Because the army from Lawfern would have just sailed out. Sometimes the AI is not completely stupid. Wiping Aranessa's main stack would have been really sweet, don't get me wrong on that. Alright, Krakotrak is gone. Invocation of Asurine is ready. The Sword of Cain has been claimed.
Your orders?
Dispatch me.
Now, over on this side, he's actually going to need to move through here.
Journeying.
With Tyrion in tow.
Guardian of the Phoenix Crown. Defender
Can I
of the
move him
Phoenix
closer?
Throne.
Yes, I can.
I go.
Because I want to move him closer
Alario.
so that I get him in the battlefield so he gets experience. Okay.
Sunfang hungers. Slaves are always useful.
Get a bit of replenishment. Rebellion is done. Situation is stabilized. Move him in the settlement here. He'll hold the line over on that side while Tyrion moves into White Peak to stabilize things further. Morathi is still going to be quite a nuisance on that side. Alright, this army is going to get its ranger complement back up. Though I think I'm also, I mean, partly cost, partly other affairs. I can't really maintain 3 full stacks. Well, 4 full stacks, sorry, not 3. I guess I only maintain 3, but not 4.
Master of magic.
It's close, but not good enough. Lawfern is probably...
For Horeth. Be prepared, Asur.
the best province. Alright. The best settlement. So what's going to happen here? Well, this army, this particular army will remain on the defensive. This particular army will go on the offensive. For Tyrion, we're gonna get... I can get tradable resources. What's more important here is not just the tradable resources. Like, I don't need control in a province where Tyrion is because, yeah, as you might imagine, he's gonna be pretty good with respect to that. Now, if I have the sea lane, I wonder.
Very well. Anchors away. Sailing for adventure.
So yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving with Tyrion over on that side. And the goal here will be to go after Morathi. Now, what I can do is move her here, get 2 rangers right here. Move her inside of Lawfern. And she doesn't need the recruitment right now. Repairing the gate is pointless, wouldn't add anything. Now, Nakari is down to their last settlement. Alariel could help deal with that situation. I'm gonna get the mission against that. And gonna set the target... Well, I think Alfarian should certainly be able to deal with this, right? He's got the army, he's got multiple stacks of troops. Once he does that, I'll give him an order to occupy that settlement, so he gets a rest back. Pretty sad for Alfarian, but that's on him, and on him alone, really.
So long as you do not question me, we may...
Kislev may not even be worth trading in with, really.
You need not face our might. Harmony
Okay, let's
is
get the trade agreement going there. and you just really want to get the trade agreement, a lot of trade agreements, because you can generate a lot of income from trade, probably the most in the entire freaking game. That's because any settlement can get the Elven Embassy building, and every Elven Embassy increases increases the income from trade tariffs. Could really use a province though with more ports. Anyway, Tyrion is gonna head over here and deal with Morathi. Okay, so Morathi has been wiped out. After wiping her, what do? Well, you can take the Bleak Coast, since Morathi was stupid enough to declare war on me before securing the Bleak Coast, though the Sisters of Twilight may have this northernmost settlement. With respect to Ulthuan, seeing how many factions have declared war on me over here, I am going to have to maintain at least 1 or maybe even 2 stacks of troops for the foreseeable future. Maybe send 1 north over here to help with the situation, specifically because Be'lakor might become an issue in the near future. The Gallian Graveyard is wiped out. All that is done. Now, army-wise, you can't go wrong with the combination of Rangers, Spearmen, Archers with light armor, and Eagle Claw bolt throwers for pretty much the vast majority of the game. Beyond that, though, what do you want to get in terms of units? You do want to start getting tier 4 settlements. The reason is because at tier 3, you can only get 1 mage or 1 noble. You need tier 4 buildings to recruit to increase your noble capacity and your mage capacity, as well as being able to get lore masters of Hoeth, though they're not too very significant. Later on in the game, you will want from your barrack chain, you will want to start getting silver and guards instead of spearmen, replacing those units, though you are still going to be using archers, unless, unless of course you are playing as, Elfarian or Alifanar, because much of what I've shown in this video can apply to both of them, really. There's some useful tips for both those. But eventually you want to get to tier 4 and start getting handmaidens. They're incredibly useful heroes for their campaign buffs. Not their combat ability, the campaign buffs that they do provide are incredibly useful. And to also get the Sisters of Avalarn. Though you probably will have to balance out stacks between Sisters, Silver and Guards. Like a good endgame stack would be either a full stack of Sisters of Avalarn, or if you want something more balanced, you can get Lore Masters, or rather Sword Masters, my apologies. You can get Sword Masters of Hoa for melee infantry, combined with Silver and Guard for line holders, combined with Eagle Claws, combined with Sisters. Dragons, they can work if you have a very large economy, but 1 or 2 of them might be worth it in every single army. Now, I do have a bit of an issue because there is an army heading here, coming here. Research-wise, beyond any research in terms of like getting wine for control, getting various trade good advancements, if you can secure these buildings. One of the things you want to do is to get cultural advancements, but that's going to require an elven court, and that's going to require a shrine of Asuryan. So the shrine is actually easier to get, though you don't want to build it until you've actually gotten the elven court as well, because there's no point to it. The corruption benefit is not too significant at this particular point. But once you do that, and once you can get access to that kind of research, rely on elven craftsmen. Like in terms of your economy, you can rely on a combination of elven embassies for the trade income in particular, elven craftsmen, of course, or elven fairground, of course, and then the promenade, this particular building chain, the amphitheater building chain for your income, and, well, of course, also your control. And that will end up working pretty well, all things considered. Gonna have to pull back Elfarian, move Tyrion into enemy territory over here. So yeah, pull back Elfarian. Gonna get a regiment of renown. He does have a quest battle I want to do. I was able to confederate Alfarian over here because he lost his entire army against Nakari. And when it comes to confederations, the best time, like the opportunities you're going to get is when the AI has suffered significant losses with their armies. I believe that's actually what happened with Illyrian, because they lost their army trying to assault Terranok, was able to confederate them, and now I have 4 full stacks at turn 37. And hell, I can maintain 1 or even 2 more stacks of troops with the vast economy that I'm getting right now, because I'm getting a lot from building income, quite a good amount from trade. Maybe even I can get more trading partners potentially. More trading partners, more trade. You can earn a ridiculous amount of income through trade. Like, though over here I'm probably pushing things to the limit of what I can afford, really, in terms of my trade capacity. But after this, well, your campaign victory conditions require you for a short campaign victory. It is required that you kill to kill Malekith. If I toggle the Fog of War over here, Malekith may end up being a very hard meal for you to chew, though. If you send 2 full stacks, like if I were to send Elfarian and if I were to send Tyrion, and get one of the stacks from Ulf1, I could certainly do it. Long campaign victory conditions requires you to hold all of Ulf1 under your direct control or from military allies or vassals, and then basically wipe out the main Dark Elven factions. Though that's not necessarily going to be too big of an issue. The one that might survive the most actually is Rakarth. Well, Malekith and Morathi have a great deal of durability, so you're going to have to wipe them out yourself, but you may not have to go deal with a Malus Darkblade yourself, because he may end up in a lot of trouble with Archaon, though in this case he seems to have done a pretty good job, although he is at war with Archaon, and well, Archaon in terms of the campaign is generally just flat out stronger than him. And you can see that Archaon has a full stack here. He's getting more troops. This full stack, as well as vassals, like that's the real power of Archaon in the campaign. Is like he's got an entire vassal stack, or almost a stack over there. Eventually, Malus is going to fall. In Cathay, the situation is going to be stabilized by Cathay, though Village may cause a lot of issues. But you can see that the Blessed Dread, is pushing forward for the moment, but eventually the combination of the northern and western provinces should be able to drive them out. Cathay is just stronger. The Cathayan factions are just stronger. The actual issue might end up being here, because Rakarth is, well, quite damn powerful. Itza will fight him. Itza, and assuming they're not at war with each other, they're not. Itza, Gorak might be able to wipe Rakarth out, but it depends. That could go either way, really. Generally, though, Rakarth does get to a certain power level. He does start winning, and then he starts losing. Oh, let me guess. This entire army is heading towards me. Well, he's at war with the Huntsmarshal, so maybe he won't send an entire army. They won't send an entire army just to harass me in Ulfuan. But yeah, most like the distant Dark Elven factions should be contained. You might have to send an entire army against Rakarth. He might avoid being wiped out, because he might just have a really powerful army that's going to take multiple stacks of the AI to win. And Itza always has some things, but it depends on what happens between the Lizardmen and Bretonnia over there. Like if either Bretonnia or the Lizardmen win against each other or ally each other, then yeah, Rakarth is screwed. I don't ever really see Rakarth winning in Lustria, so to speak. He survives, but I never see him winning. Generally, what actually ends up happening is Alberic becomes the dominant power over here. That's because Itza has a lot of things on its plate with the Skaven, with the Vampire Coast, etc. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Costin here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications, and I'll see you next time.